Hi, I'm Hannah. Welcome back to my channel, Crusty Cravings, where I share tips, tricks, and sourdough recipes. Today I'm going to be testing out the viral chocolate chip sourdough loaf by Conley Kit. Her name on TikTok is Conley and Kitchen, if you want to look at the full TikTok video. I wrote down her measurements and her process. I'm gonna test it out. We've never had a chocolate chip loaf in our family before. What do you think about that, Leo? Are you excited?
Yeah.
So Leo's gonna be my helper again today. He wants to help me put some of the measurements in here. I don't know why, but I don't have a glass bowl. So I'm having to use a plastic container, which I've seen a lot of people use these, especially for big batches of sourdough, so you can see how your dough is proofing or how it's fermenting on the counter, and you can see the bottom as well. But I really do need to get glass containers just so I can actually utilize those, because I know it's better for you to use glass than plastic. So the first step is that we're going to put 50 grams of cocoa powder in this bucket, and then we'll mix it with 100 grams of warm liquid. And in this case, we're going to do coffee. If you know my family, you know that we love coffee. We have an espresso machine, a French press, like an on the stove espresso machine, a drip coffee machine, an espresso machine. We've got it all. So we love coffee. So we're gonna put 100 grams of hot liquid with that cocoa powder, and then we're going to stir it, make it into a paste, and we're actually going to leave it for a couple of minutes just to get nice and flavorful for those two to bring the flavors out of each other. So can you dump this into the big container for me? I had to remeasure. I was a little worried that it wasn't accurate with this big plastic tub. So okay, I feel like this is going to be the most satisfying part. So we put 50 grams of cocoa powder in here. Now we're going to go in with 100 grams of hot coffee. And then you're going to stir it, Leo, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna stir it.
130 grams. Now you can mix it. And then after we mix it, we're going to let it sit for a couple minutes while it just gets nice and flavorful. Okay, so now we have our paste. We're going to leave this for 3 to 5 minutes and just let it get nice and flavorful. And then when we come back, we're going to be adding our starter, our water, our brown sugar, flour, and sea salt. All right, it's been a couple of minutes, so now we're going to add our starter. So this is our active starter. I fed this morning, and Lazarus is pretty much tripled in size, so he's ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and put 150 grams of starter in, 350 grams of water, 13 grams of vanilla, and 30 grams of brown sugar. Leo's going to be adding a brown sugar vanilla mix in here, and I'll be doing the water and the starter because we need that to be very accurate. And I'm going to let him whisk everything together for us. So let's start. 50 grams of our starter. Okay, so we got our starter, and now we need to add 350 grams of water. Okay, this is always a little scary.
It's good that this is not the floor.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little less liquid because I accidentally put a little too much coffee in it. You want to pour this in for me?
Yeah, pour it.
Okay, good job. So this is our vanilla and our brown sugar. The vanilla was 13 grams and the brown sugar was 30 grams.
I'm paying it so it can come more.
Thank you.
Good.
And then Leo is going to whisk it all together for us.
So the water makes it more higher.
Mm-hmm.
First it was 0.
And next up, we're going to be adding 500 grams of bread flour. I don't think you have to use bread flour, but it's definitely going to make it taste better. You can use a combo, which I don't know if I have enough bread flour left, so I might have to do a little bit of a
Now can
combo
I mix it?
between like
please?
all-purpose, unbleached, organic flour, and also my bread flour. Alright, so I'm using Bob's Red Mill
Hello, there was
artisan bread flour. You can buy this at like any health store. I bought it at Sprouts. So we're gonna add 500 grams of that. I'm gonna need to use about 70 grams of my normal all-purpose organic flour. And I buy this at Costco. It's the Kirkland brand. Okay, perfect. That's 500 grams. And then with salt, we're gonna put in about 10 grams. Okay. All right, Leo. All right, go ahead and mix it. Keep going. Doing a great job. Being a good helper.
Getting chocolatey.
Uh-huh. Thick and chocolatey, which is what we want. We're going to keep mixing it until it's like one big blob.
Of chocolate?
Yeah. And then after we're done mixing it and it's like one big blob, we'll see if we need to add a tiny bit more flour. Because I might have gotten too much liquid. Because I added in liquid vanilla. In her recipe, she added in like a vanilla paste. So that's not going to play too much into the hydration of the loaf. But in the case of liquid vanilla, it's definitely going to play a part.
What in the world?
Can you lick it? I mean, they tell you not to eat raw flour, but you probably have a little bit.
Oh, damn, yummy, 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 yummy.
Alright, so we're gonna scrape the sides, see if we need to put any more flour. I think this is gonna be enough flour. I think we're good. This is gonna turn into one big blob.
This doesn't look like chocolate.
What? Because it has flour?
Yeah.
Well, I just have to mix it all in.
Can you give me one
And
chocolate chip?
That comes later.
Okay.
Alright, so this is what the flour looks like after we've blended it and mixed it. The rest of the flour is going to be incorporated when we do the stretch and folds. Alright, so we covered it with a shower cap and we're going to let it sit for an hour and we'll come back to do our stretch and folds, add those chocolate chips, and then do some coil folding, which is something new I've added into my bread making process. It helps the structure of the dough. It also helps give it a nice spring. So far it's working really great, so I'm going to continue doing that. And during that process, we'll just slowly start adding in those chocolate chips to get those really incorporated into the dough. I know, I gotta clean it. Yeah, we made a mess here. We have chocolate everywhere.
I didn't make it. You made it.
And I spilled water. Yeah.
You make everything the mess because I didn't do anything poor.
You didn't do anything pouring, no.
No, I just did the chocolate.
You just did the mixing, didn't you?
I didn't want to make a mess.
So he didn't do too much of a mess today, but it was mainly my fault. I've also been wanting to try a double chocolate loaf for a really long time. One of my friends here in Florida, she has made one, and just says it's amazing. So I'm really excited. I hope it turns out great. And if it does, this is definitely going to be a staple. Okay, we've let our dough sit for an hour, so now it's time to do our first set of stretch and folds. And I thought it would be easier to show you from this point of view because stretch and folding is, I mean, it's not complicated, but it's just easier to see it from this point of view. So I get my hands wet before each set of stretch and folds. It's just easier because the dough tends to be super sticky during this point of time. I try to, during the first set of stretch and folds, just get all that stuff from the sides and kind of mix it in. And then I'll just kind of work in a circular motion like this. This really helps just strengthen your dough. You want to do it as much as you can without actually breaking it. And during this first couple of sets, the dough is going to be a little bit more fragile. And as you continue to stretch and fold, it will get strength. So I'm just going to do this in like a circular motion. Stretch it as much as possible without breaking it. And then we'll let it sit. Some people like to let it sit for an hour. I'm just going to let it sit for about 30 minutes and I'll do my next set of stretch and folds. I'm going to cover in between, and then after the next set of stretch and folds, I'm going to incorporate those chocolate chips. Then I'll do coil folding. So in Conley's video, she just did about 130 grams of chocolate chips. I'm doing mini chocolate chips because I do not have regular. Okay, that's about 80 grams. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. So, the stretch and folds are definitely going to help incorporate these. There's kind of no rhyme or reason to this madness. Okay. So it's in a pretty nice ball. We're gonna cover it with a shower cap again and let it sit for another 30 minutes. And then I'm gonna do my coil folds when I come back. Okay, we are back for coil folds. So coil folding is pretty much like it sounds. You fold the dough underneath, like a coil essentially, underneath itself, and you kind of do it a couple times. So you gather it, fold. I might do it a couple different ways, like flip it from side to side essentially. Do this like 3-4 times. And then I'll let it sit for another 30 minutes and come back and do it again. Kind of like shape it into a ball. Have my shower cap, just put that on top of the dough and let it rest for another 30 minutes. Okay, so my dough has now doubled in size. It's domed on the top. It's pulling away from the sides. And it's harder to see the bubbles because of the chocolate chips, but you can see in some areas, if I put my finger there, there's bubbles starting to form. I don't want it to get too much bigger. If I do, it'll be over fermented and just a sloppy mess. So I'm gonna try to roll it out and shape it. I'm gonna do a pre-shape. I'm gonna let it bench rest for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to do a final shape, and then I'll put this in the refrigerator overnight to cold proof, and then in the morning I'll pull it out, score it, and bake it. Yes, perfect.
It's not sticky.
It didn't stick to the bowl. It's a little bit sloppy. It's messy, but turned out good. Okay, so this is the hardest part because it's very sticky during this time. You can either use water, or you could put some flour on your hands. I'm probably gonna do a little bit of both. Okay, so for the pre-shape, I'm going to pull it. Pull it. Just a sticky mess. Oh yeah, there's some big bubbles on this. This is like the biggest loaf I've seen in my life. Okay, so then I'm going to create a little bit of structure by pulling it to myself and just feel all of these air bubbles popping. This is gonna be the biggest chocolate loaf. Oh yeah, there's some nice blisters forming on this. This is gonna be good. Okay, and then I'm gonna let it bench rest for 15 minutes, and then I'll come back and do the final shaping. Okay, so that's what it looks like right now. See all these bubbles forming on the top. It's looking good. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what I'm doing. I see people shape their dough in every which way, and I just keep trying whatever works best. So I'm gonna take one side, fold it, then I'm gonna grab the edges like this, bring them to the center, and then I'm going to fold it, kind of do that again, fold it, and then it forms this massive blob. I'm gonna just put a little bit of flour, kind of pull it to me again. And it's impossible not to break the dough with this because those chocolate chips are poking through. I've lost some of them in this process. Okay, looks good. Sprinkle it with some more flour. And then I'm going to take a bench scraper, take this side and put it down. So ugly side always goes up. And then I've seen a lot of people pull the dough a little bit tighter on the bottom, like this. And do another dusting, flour, and then I'm going to put a shower cap over it and cold proof it in the refrigerator, or cold retard it in the refrigerator overnight. Good morning, y'all. Our loaf has been sitting in the refrigerator now all night, so now it's time to get it out onto a piece of parchment paper and shape it so it has somewhere to expand. Then we'll put it into our preheated Dutch oven and bake. Oh my gosh, this is the first time I'm looking at it. I feel like my loaves never expand this much in the refrigerator. Like, I'm shocked. I don't even know how to control a loaf like this. Like, it's just gone rogue. Oh my goodness. I know a lot of people, when their loaves like explode like this, they stitch it on the bottom to keep its shape a little bit more. I don't even know what to tell you. Like, I've never seen a loaf explode like this. Okay, so now we flipped it onto our parchment paper. My goodness, this is huge. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so today I'm just gonna do my classic score. I don't want to do anything crazy or exotic. I just feel like it's going to affect the way the loaf turns out if I try to do anything too fancy. So I'll do one deep cut. And then just kind of go back over because it needs to be a good inch at least. And then to get an ear, I've heard that you just cut inside a little bit and it gives it some room to expand. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do more of a decorative score over here. I just noticed these cuts are like a little bit deeper on a lot of people's loaves and they turn out prettier that way. So that's what we're gonna go with. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my preheated Dutch oven and cook it. All right, drop this big loaf in there. Put lid on, and we're going to lower the temperature to 450 degrees. And bake for 20 minutes. And then we'll see how it turns out. I'm gonna lower the temperature after that and bake it for maybe another like 15-20 minutes. But I think it's gonna be good. All right, here's the moment of truth. I'm going to take the lid off. Ooh, she's looking nice. Definitely. Okay, I'm gonna leave it in there for probably 20 more minutes on 450. All right, and this is the final product. I'm gonna let it cool for an hour, and when I cut into it, we'll see how that crumb looks. It's cooling for over an hour now. I'm gonna cut down the middle and see what that crumb looks like. Oh, I can see this chocolate just coming off. Ooh. It looks good. It's pretty thick, but it's good. Smells so good. So my official taste tester got home from school, and since he helped make it, he's going to try it with me and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Remember, 1 is like, it's not good at all, it's gross. And then 10 is like, we did amazing. We have to put it in our cookbook and try it again. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so
try just a little bite.
Just a little bite, yeah, because it's got coffee, cocoa powder, chocolate, all the things.
But I'm gonna eat it one time.
Okay, you wanna try it?
Yeah.
All right, ready, set, go.
10.
Really? You do think it's a 10?
Mm.
Do you think we could have improved on anything, or that we did really good?
Yeah, we did really good.
It's like really crispy on the outside, like very crunchy, but the inside is like nice and, I know some people don't like that word, but it's soft. I'm not gonna say the word that everybody hates. But it's like spongy on the inside, and then if you toasted it and put some cream cheese and strawberries on it, I think it tastes really good.
No, that's gonna be more chocolatey.
Wow. I think this tastes really good like it is. I don't even think you need to put anything on it.
Nope.
It's really rich though. So if you don't like coffee, I would recommend just putting like a hot like water liquid in there instead. Or some sort of other like hot liquid that pulls out the strong chocolatey flavors if you do put coffee in it. I think we'll have to add it to our personal cookbook and make it again. Don't you think? And this is a massive loaf. I did like a bubbly this time. So it's like a huge circle. And I was able to share a bunch with our neighbors and some girls that do my makeup and hair. So we'll see. But I think it's going to be a big hit. It's not like super sour, but I did let it bulk ferment for like 7 hours, I think. 6-7 hours. And then I put it in the refrigerator overnight for about like 10 hours or so. So it's not super sour. It's like, it's still like sweet, but like I said, it has those hints of like a like super chocolatey flavor. And it's so nice because the chocolate chips, they actually stay melted for a long time. Like they have not hardened. They're still like this like it gets on your fingers. It's very messy. But they're still melted in there. And it's been 4 hours since I got it out of the oven. Super good. Thank you so much for tuning into our video today. We're going to do some more recipe videos in the future. I think Leo will probably want to be my helper for all of them, right?
I don't want to cry.
You don't want to cry?
Bye, guys.
Bye. Happy baking.
Bye, happy eating.
Today I'm going to be making the viral chocolate chip sourdough loaf by Conley Chip. Honey.
Sorry.
Today, Enzo's not happy. Go slow, okay?
Ooh, that's not.
That's okay. That's about 20
grams. Ooh, that's not.
Oh man. This is not gonna be that accurate. Oh my goodness. Can you pause it, Leo?
Okay.
Oh. Pour it. Okay, and then now we're going to add, hold on, it's zeroed out. Okay, I feel like, okay, can somebody hold him for a second? Can you pause it, Leo? Pause the video.
Wow, it's making that chocolate.
Did you just splash it on yourself? You okay? Uh-oh. Did it get in your eye?
What,
The chocolate? You okay? You want to go get your eyes cleaned? Or you just, does it feel okay?
Yes.
Feels fine?
I just need a paper towel.
Okay, I'll get a paper towel for you.
All
Alright. Okay, we don't need this right now. Alright, go ahead and mix it. Do you want to get closer?
Yeah. Oh, that's
All right, good morning, y'all. All right, boule. I think that's how you say it. Are besides coffee,
I'm gonna throw up.
but I think it really like. Anything else you want to say, Leo? What do you think?
Goodbye.